Biscuits and tea.
Misgendering NWSL players. We've got the wins coming out of the Southwest. We've got losing teams in Kansas City. It's been a fucking doozy this week in the US of A. B, would you go ahead and kick it off for us?
Yes, and I appreciate Tyler's blowing of the nose in the intro of the show.
Is that what we want to just restart that up?
Rod? Absolutely not. That's
this is
what this is. If people haven't figured out yet that we're not
just
fucking podcasters, and I don't know what you've been listening to, but I think let's just kick it off real quick and thank Sport Tea. Got some sports tea right here. I've had a coffee and a sport tea today.
Oh shit!
I'm telling you guys, I'm feeling a little over the top right now, but it's good for today's show. It's really good for today's show. Little quick thing for Road, and then
listen, Road right here provided the audio solution to Golarami and the Biscuits and Tea, the 11th Commandment, all of our podcasts. Road has been a great supporter. We love you, Road, and go right down below. Now, there's been a lot that's happened this week. B, I don't know if you, Brandon, caught us up to speed with the NWSL, just like you did last week. We're covering the NWSL quite a bit here.
A lot of news coming out of the NWSL. I think obviously just because of all the new things that are happening, new teams, a lot of new games, new season. But it's interesting. What is the top headlines? Are we wanting to get into that first, or
let's go straight into that. Let's go straight.
Okay,
just hit him hard.
Alrighty. All right. Well, I don't know who the writer was. It came from the 18. And the reason why we don't know who the writer was, and the reason why we can't get more information on this, is because the article that we are trying to talk about right now has been pulled down. When you go to the website, it looks like it has been pulled down by the Russian government, or I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't understand why the website's not working.
I don't. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. I'm so intrigued by this entire conversation that this is going to be a very big learning process. We've lost Tyler back, everyone. He ran off in a quick tornado-like run. Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast. Tyler back, goalkeeper, sprinted off like a bat out of hell. We don't know what he saw or who came in. He's going to give us an update right now. My name's Jack Russell.
If there's a sound that I can't stand, it's a baby whining and crying. And
what did you do when you got
close the door and I get as far away as possible?
You're like Bill Burr, you punted the baby.
So this article, I was just scrolling through the old, Twitter, just doing my thing, just consuming great news like you do every single day on the internet. And I come across this gem, and it caught my attention because of the profanity that I do not approve of. That was in the title. NWSL announcers really need to fucking stop misgendering athletes.
Wow.
That's offensive to me. Since when are we allowed to use the F word in subject lines?
This is, I don't know, but I want to get even deeper into the subject that people are just afraid to talk about, which is the entire transgender, misgender, all of the new things that are happening. Because number one, it's such a new conversation to be had in public. Can you just 15 years ago, I don't even know if we could have even begun to have this conversation on what's going on. I want to get specifically into what happened though with the announcer. The announcer. So wait, we need to get to the very first thing. Quinn is an NWSL player who is transgender, whose pronouns are they and or them, or they and them, they or them, whatever. Yeah, right? Correct.
I don't really understand what that means.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because you, as a common person who's lived in the US for nearly 30 years, right? It's confusing to you. And this is a guy,
I'm confused,
who's balls deep in Reddit, right? Who's balls deep in cultural things. He doesn't get it. So before the wolves get to start attacking people, if he doesn't get it, we got some issues. We got some issues here. Clear issues. Let alone people who are outside that don't pay attention, that are fucking doing other things. We got some
No,
education going
that's a
on.
great point. That's a great point because I mean, like, I was obviously joking about like fucking being the thing. Like, we don't care about that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. But you know, I like we are complete in support of whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be. Like, there's nothing wrong with any of this. But like, I truly do not understand a lot of this stuff. So it'll be good for me today to hear from you guys for us to figure out here, okay, what exactly is the goal here? Like, what are we trying to accomplish? Like, what is actually going on? Because I read quite a bit about this. I'm still confused. And it's like I've read about a lot of stuff. I've studied a lot of things. It's confusing as hell. It really is.
So I guess the place to start is biologically, like, is there a singular? That's what the they them throws me off because that sounds like something plural.
That's
You
a
see what
good
I'm
point.
saying?
First off, I know what you mean.
That's like
Yeah.
always throws me like. So you would say instead of she, you would say what was that them? What was that? What was the? Would you just say there?
We're gonna find out for you, Tyler. We're gonna find out for you. Because yeah,
I guess
one.
I guess it's safe. What was their biological gender? I guess would be the place.
No,
to start.
that's not. I don't think that's
That's
the point.
not the place to start.
I don't think that's
Well, I'm
the
trying
point.
to figure out.
That's the issue. I think that's part of the issue, according to them, is her biological gender isn't, or sorry, what she was born as is not the.
Well, it wouldn't be she.
Well, wait a second. What she's
They.
born as? No, because she's supposed to be. Oh, I've already misgendered her.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So
it's they.
They look at what's trying to happen. There are 3 grown adults trying to figure out what you can and cannot say. I'm really just doing.
And we're not trying to offend anybody.
This is the point.
We're not trying to offend anybody. Yeah.
Before we even get into this, this is the point. I'm actually just like fluttering over my words, also just to make a point. Before you attack all 3 of us who are on the team of Quinn, who are on the team of people who want to be progressive to the degree that it's not offensive towards them to make sure that they have protection, we're on your team. What I don't like about social justice warriors, what I do not like about this movement right here and attacking the announcer, which I forget her name.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced she's the enemy. You guys have just like picked her out as like, I can't believe she misgendered her. I can't believe. And it's like, all right, great. You've educated, let her know that that is not it. But do you really want to send her to the wolves? Because if you start attacking all the people who are a part of your team, or like potentially part of your team, you're gonna alienate yourselves. So it shouldn't be this vitriol. Fuck you for not do. Like,
it's also
there's got to be
It's hard. Like people are so conditioned once you get in the way of saying something that you see. Like even with a great example would be the football team transitioning from the Redskins. Every game, somebody would say the Washington Redskins. Every single, even in the draft last night, they had an ex player up, and he was announcing a player. He went and the Washington football team. Like it was the R was coming out of his mouth.
Yeah,
and it's like hard. Like I don't know. You see, you're used to commentating. You've been commentating for years, and you call everybody she and then there's like a couple players that now you have to try to. It'd be hard in the flow to.
Of course it would,
dude. I still call Sporting Kansas City Stadium like freaking Live Strong, and that was like four partners ago. Like I can't like just all of a sudden like even with stuff like that, you know, it's like you're right. It gets ingrained into your brain. You're used to something like it's gonna happen. And like obviously you can tell people are emotionally intelligent enough to be able to tell when someone's trying to, you know, be a dick or honestly just making a mistake.
Yeah,
you know, so I think that's what we need to figure out.
That's it. If intention is not taken into consideration, when someone's ignorant, that's also not an excuse. But if we try and tell them what's going on, great. And if they decide, all right, you need to figure out who the real enemies are. And I don't think the announcer who's misspeaking is the enemy.
Yeah. So do you guys so how would you feel then in the instance that someone is just like not, okay, I'm not going to recognize that person as what they are trying to be, and they just continually do it. So like, what do we do with that situation of that kind of person?
Good question. So if someone who's trying to identify,
I mean, it probably depends who that person is. If there's some random person on the street,
call them a conservative person that's announcing these games, and they say, you know, if they come out publicly that they are, you know, refusing to refer to Quinn as a male, which is what
yeah
Quinn wants to be a male, right? Or no?
See, this
So
is
this is
why
where I
this
need
is
you guys to help me. I need you guys to help me. And I
no,
feel
this
like
is
every time I talk, I'm just digging my grave. Just
I don't know what Quinn is transitioning. That's why I feel like that's the first thing we need to look. I don't when you said it doesn't matter what Quinn starts biologically, I think it does matter just to see like what is this person transitioning from to I don't know if
yeah.
I have no idea like who
Rebecca Quinn, member of Canada's national women's soccer team, comes out as transgender. I've lived as an openly trans person with people I love for many years. I did wonder when I'd come out publicly. So she came out as transgender. She's 25 years old. It appears, Tyler, parents open up about helping their embrace their da 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 da. I've more or less found an article that's like what we saw previously. It's a process. It won't be perfect, but if I can encourage you, put your pronouns in your bio. Quinn suggested. Follow, listen to others, trans, non-binary voices. We're going to get into non-binary because that's a new term for everyone on Earth.
I understand non-binary a lot more
than what
Quinn is
identifying as.
I don't understand what Quinn is identifying as.
All right. Well,
That's
first,
what.
not. All right. Let me just we'll just make it as clear as possible. Also for definitions, non-binary or a genderqueer is an umbrella term for gender identities that are neither male nor female. Identities that are outside the gender binary. Non-binary identities can fall under the transgender umbrella, since many non-binary people identify with a gender that is different from their assigned sex. Another term for non-binary is NB, from the abbreviation NB, non-binary.
What are their pronouns?
Or
is that they?
That non-binary genders are not associated with a specific gender expression, such as androgyny. Non-binary people as a group have a wide variety of gender expressions, and some may reject gender identities altogether. Some non-binary people are medically treated for gender dysphoria with surgery or hormones, as trans men and trans women often are. This is a unfathomably complicated and complex new world. And I'm not okay with the people attacking everybody who does not yet understand it. That's like, there's so much information already in the world. There's so much information blasted at you already. For someone that has never, or doesn't have a connection to that part of the world, to not get this, you should be like, all right, I'm going to help you understand this. Cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel. Gone. You're evil. Boom. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But what is Quinn? That's what I still
Quinn?
don't. I don't like. There's been no explanation.
Quinn is
for
Quinn.
It's
right?
just
so Quinn is not a male, not a female.
That's what I don't understand. There's been no in these articles. They never say any of that. They just the closest we've gotten to is Quinn's pronouns are they them, and I don't what are we supposed to do with that information?
So you just never refer to Quinn as her. You just refer her. You don't refer to her. You just say Quinn, right?
Yeah. You're
say
supposed
Quinn,
to say Quinn.
But then if
only Quinn, you can never refer to Quinn in any other way except for Quinn
or they them
or they.
But how can an individual be they? Like he said, like I don't understand that. It breaks my brain.
Well, they don't give a fuck about your brain anymore.
That's what.
This is the new world. Sorry.
I really think unless there has to be a huge underlying thing to it. It seems like they them was a really poor choice of pronouns grammatically.
To create a new one?
Because you would say if Quinn was playing and you would say like Quinn has the ball, they passes, them passes the ball. Like what?
I know. I agree. That's hard for native English speakers we plural, and a plural is now a singular. It's only referring to one person, and it's a they, them, which is the same thing I use when I say they, them as the team.
But I still don't. She's Quinn is transitioning. Quinn is transitioning to. I don't understand what the transition. How is
see that?
How is there no?
It's not even a.
How is there no transitioning to what? Like I don't understand what. Because it doesn't sound
Quinn.
like she's Jesus Christ. It doesn't sound like
So
Quinn is
Quinn was
transitioning
once
to a
a female,
guy.
right?
And she's not. Holy fuck, man. This is literally so difficult to try to
It
stick
is
with the pronouns.
coming out is hard. I want to read. I want to read from her direct
All right.
Instagram posts. These are her words. I'm assuming coming out is hard and kind of BS. I know for me, it's something I'll be doing over and over again for the rest of my life. As I've lived as an openly trans person with the people I love most for many years. So she goes on to talk about. I want to challenge cis folks. That's us. If you don't know what cis means, that's probably you. To be better allies. It's a process, and I know it won't be perfect, but if I can encourage you to start, then it's something. Part of the issue, Tyler, is that you're right. It's not.
There's no information.
It's not clear enough. And the only way for it to be clear, and I see that she's on loan from a Swedish club. So, I see that Quinn is on loan from a Swedish club. No offense meant, Quinn. I want to get Quinn. Like,
that's the only
we
way
need
I
to
think we
talk
can
to
figure this out.
We need to talk
we're not
to
gonna we're not gonna
We need
figure
to
this
talk.
out.
That's it.
It's so hard, dude. It's like we're not even trying to be. It's so easy to be offensive, like, and then all of a sudden, like, this is gonna be clipped, and then it's like people are just bashing and going crazy about it. It's like, dude, like, we're literally just trying to have the conversation, but along the way, like, we're already messing up, and we're already
Yeah.
saying things that like people could directly clip to do this and fuck us over, like, for
Well,
sure.
they can't. They can't.
I don't know.
because
They
it's
couldn't.
podcast.
They can't.
They couldn't
They-
fuck us over from this because
No,
you
they
just
can't.
put the whole
Try.
thing out, and you're just. Are you guys
Yeah.
serious? You don't want people talking about this at all. You'd rather
Right.
just
So, like,
be quiet.
they clip things from like fucking Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, even Donald Trump, like that kind of stuff. Like, that can be clipped and then it can be sent out to something that's not anywhere close to our community, and that can literally affect people's like thoughts and opinions on us. That's what I was trying to say. It's like this stuff can be taken out of context so easily in the modern day, like way social media works. How people can clip things and edit things, like, so it literally sounds like we're taking a stance on this.
Yeah, but it'd be easy response to it. It's like,
Yeah, it would
For
be.
sure.
This one would be
But
stupid,
listen-
and it's also it's dumb because most people are afraid to have this conversation. We don't.
Well, this
we
is
don't,
what-
we don't give a shit. We get to have this conversation because we actually get to learn. We get
Well,
to learn on our podcast.
This is what
Go
her
ahead.
post was saying, essentially.
It's a who?
This is what it sounded like she wants to happen. Or holy
Yeah.
fuck. This is what it
This
sounds
is
like
what
Quinn wants to happen.
This is what Quinn wants to happen. Yeah. We have to get.
So on Quinn's page, does she have like any links or like anything like that?
How is this woman going after this commentator? We're like very aware of this.
Exactly.
and-
We're
And
literally trying.
each of us, every sentence has said she.
I know.
like every
yeah.
single-
I
every
think
single
every
one.
one of us has said she at least multiple times.
So it's just as offensive to say he, right?
That's
As
a great
she.
question. That's a great question.
I don't think
don't
we have
know.
the answer for that. I don't think we can answer that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
okay,
don't
so
think we
I'm
can answer. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Because I'm literally accidentally saying she, you're saying she, and then like, but like if I wonder like what Quinn's perspective on that would be.
They them.
It's not enough.
No. So if they them is the thing, then obviously if he would be okay, Quinn would put he him.
She,
He,
or
him.
him. Yeah, he, him. Yeah.
Yeah, Quinn would put. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Quinn
Yeah.
would put they them he him if he him was okay, but they
An
them
option.
is better.
Yeah.
So the real question is here: as a human, not having any experience, like my human experience had not identified with other humans that are closely identified as not he or she. Quinn needs to come on this podcast, and we need to have a discussion. God damn it, Quinn was on loan from a Swedish team. In the article, it says that. So I think we can get to Quinn.
Yeah, I think Quinn, if we send her a DM, I think, like, Quinn would get the message. And
It's
then we would be able to
unbelievable.
Have the
It's
conversation.
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And every time my stomach drops. Every time it's like,
No,
it shouldn't be,
No, you can't be
it's just
afraid
like-
of that because the
No,
intention
I'm
matters.
not afraid.
And-
I just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like that's like not the intention, but like I feel like each time you're doing that, it's like a dagger, or like you're doing something against the cause, or you're part of the problem. And like I understand like that's like, It's not really it. Like we are trying, the intention is there, but it's bizarre the psychological effect behind it of like trying to have the conversation. It makes you understand why things are so stagnant right now with this stuff.
Yeah. I
I think it's
wonder.
also really confusing
Yeah.
that Quinn is they them, but then plays in a female sport. That
Right.
also kind of
That
confuses
that
me.
title really comes off as weird. Is the National Women's NW soccer? The National Women's Soccer League needs to stop the pronouns of with the pronoun
Of
woman. Woman's
of the
in the
promen.
title
Yeah.
of the league
You're right.
to where that like the whole title comes off really really awkward, saying that this league
Right.
that already
Yeah.
is
The
identified
women's
as a
league.
women's league.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right. That's 100%. That's a
It
valid
just
point.
that
That's a
title
very
just
valid
that
point.
that was the first thing when I saw the title. I was thinking is it's kind of weird that you're going after this commentator. It sounds like you should be going after the league first if that's
That's what
really
people
where
are
this
saying.
issue is.
But is the point of the league? Is the point to like what do we do now though?
Let's
Not
have a non-binary league, no women's league and no men's league, just a league, right?
it's just a
Is that the
league.
way to go?
And
And you
so
just have
men that identify as men can go play in this league, and women that identify as women, and then people who
they
don't
them.
identify with either can also play in this league. We don't have a separation.
Yeah.
We're just done. We're just done with
That
that.
it kind of seems like that's what feminists really like push for. I mean,
I don't know that that
right?
would be good.
No, they can't push for that. I mean, you can't have that.
That wouldn't be good. Who is that good for?
It wouldn't be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, in terms of like, I don't know. It's because you jump around to different topics. You have softball and you have baseball. Why is that a thing? Like, why do girls need to do underhand pitches, and why do girls need a bigger yellow ball to play the sport? Like, I don't know, we all know women that could easily go and play with us, professional, like, that are good enough 100%, and they could play. The large majority
Wait, what?
probably not, but like, you don't think you've never played with some women that like you think that could play
Professionally at the
with
men's
men?
level?
And
Yeah.
what
No
sport?
chance.
Soccer.
No, no, no. I don't even think
Play, yes. Hang, yeah, probably. But like over the course of
like you're saying.
Okay,
So you're saying straight up.
I'm just looking at what Sporting KC. I look at Sporting KC's players yesterday, and I can think of plenty of women that could step in and do just as good, as not better.
No.
And
No,
yeah,
no
these
chance.
dudes. Okay, well, we can watch the highlights. I can think of women that can properly mark zone spaces and not make horrible fundamental errors. You know, like
if we come off of now non-binary nothing, and we're talking about just men versus women, it is a wrecking field when teenage national teams like play against like full women's national teams. They wreck them a lot of times.
I know.
There's a lot of those.
I know.
Just the physicality and the speed alone.
That's
like you, it's.
But it's hard for me to like. But it's hard for me on one side to like understand that and like know that literally. I'm with you guys. I understand that, but I don't think that that's what they them wants or feminists want us to think.
Are they
it's
part
like,
of the same?
I feel like,
why are you grouping them together though? Are they part of? Are they the feminists? Why are feminists making that push for they them in the same sense? Are they aligned?
I guess they wouldn't be.
Like
I guess they wouldn't be.
The
so
transgender LGBTQ community is who would be pushing for that rather than feminists, right? I don't know what the feminist end game is. I'm not sure, but
I'm just saying straight up. If there was like a situation, you guys seen She's the Man?
She's the Man? The movie?
The Man. Yeah. With
it's like,
what is that?
The girl who pretends to be her club or her school's soccer team gets cut, so she has to go to a men's school and play there, and she has to dress as a guy the whole time and pretend that she's a guy.
God, I kind of remember this. I'm
thinking the Amanda Show. Is that the chick from? Is that what it's called? The Amanda Show?
Amanda Bynes or whatever. Yeah, I kind of remember. I'm thinking. You know what I thought of when you said that? I thought there was like Jawanda. Remember that black movie where the guy dresses up as a girl. He's a basketball player, but he's a failed basketball player, so he dresses up as a girl to play in the women's league.
No, so it's like an inverse of that. But I think if you had that situation where I don't think you could find a girl if, say, she was going to pretend to be a guy and go try out for MLS team. I don't think there's a girl in the world that could make an MLS roster.
I'm trying to think of the best
I just
that would make an MLS roster. Yeah, the physicality. Yeah, I think there are some players that have the technical ability and stuff like that. It's gonna be it's the physique, it's the physicality part of
yeah.
like having a
And I
play.
mean,
You could have one, Tyler. You could have one very good, very technical player, and you play very technical football, and put
you
her in the
put them in
middle
the, you'd have to
somewhere.
put her right in the midfield,
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
try
she
to
has to go
have
in the midfield.
everything go through her.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess I don't know.
because I
I
do
guess I've just
think
like played with some chicks that they carry more masculine traits though. Like
yeah, but B,
it.
how many
You
MLS
know,
players are you playing with? That's where like the issue. Because there are when I played co-ed, sometimes a lot of times the girls are better than a lot of the guys, where they know where the ball's supposed to go. They just understand the game better. But that's not against like top level
right.
guys. So I mean, there's a ton
Yeah,
of girls that are better than a ton of guys, but just I think once you hit that MLS level, it's just not.
yeah. If you're talking, we're talking the top league in a big country. That's tough. That's tough. That is going to be really tough. I mean, you're talking about a very small pool of players. I like in my head, I'm already going to like the greatest players of all time, like Mia Hamm, like Marta, like Michelle Akers, like in their primes. Like and I'm not sure to what level. That's a question. I wonder what they think. Like, I wonder what
I don't
they
know.
feel.
I definitely don't have experience in MLS level like Tyler does, but I mean, I think that there are girls that they can play up to like age 15 at a very like high level, like 14. I totally get it but I feel like there's going to be women or they, them. I don't mean to group that together, but I feel like in the next 10, 15 years, will there be a female that makes a run for it and potentially can play in the MLS? Tyler doesn't think so.
It's gonna
Why
have to.
not? Why not? Do you see Serena Williams? Do you see some of these female athletes? They're
Serena
freaking
Williams.
insane. That's going to happen again.
Serena Williams has openly said she couldn't even touch someone in the top like 150 of the men's.
Fair enough, but you don't think that someone could eventually? Like, you think about the offspring of all of these athletes,
I
and then continually, in training, and things continue to
Eventually.
get better. Like
Yeah.
this is kind of
Eventually.
I
I don't know
kind of
how
see
long.
this as going through the issue of when people always say like, "Oh, hard work beats talent." Like hard work will beat talent. Like if you work hard, you can beat the talented guys that aren't working hard, and then they ignore that there's also thousands of talented guys also working hard at the same time. So yeah, you have those girls like going through through athletes and stuff, but you also have like boys doing this exact same thing who have such a head start, just physicality and
Agreed. Agreed.
everything.
That's the problem. Yeah, it's when I mean, it's not even also the hard work. You got to then take into account the talented guys that work hard and smart, that don't
Mhm.
waste their hard work. And now you're talking about a pool of it's just like they didn't spend all their time just shooting every time. They balanced it. Like it's rough when you start weeding out
Also,
the high school athlete, college
also,
athlete, pro, top of
I
it's gonna get fucking
I
you
think the
know
MLS might be one of the worst top leagues in the world to even try this too, because the
it's
MLS
so
is a
physical.
physical, fast-paced league. It is not a possession-based league where you
Exactly.
just run at teams, and you
Yeah.
cannot. A girl just couldn't keep up with like. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Well,
fast. These guys are fast. Like,
yeah.
They're all fast. They all fucking lift. I totally get it. Totally get it. But I do think that there is a portion of people that like would totally disagree with that.
oh, 100%.
And like not like that I'm like pushing, like I totally get it. But I do think there will be some like women that like not maybe not soccer, but I think it's one of those sports that like we could see it first. Like people are talking about, women football NFL kickers, or I don't think that anybody in the WNBA, like there's no way like on that end. Those guys are just so incredibly big and athletic. It's nuts. So like okay, so tennis, soccer, golf, like swimming, I don't know, like those are the sports that I could see someone breaking through that gender thing, but it like you're like I get it. It's gonna take a super athlete to do it.
I think for
Like
it to happen, it's gonna have to be some trans thing going on.
Well, then
It needs to be
technically,
something built
right?
built around
Technically,
that.
they're not women.
I guess.
but they're
Yeah.
competing in women's sports. That's like okay, yeah. So that's the only thing that I think I get hung up on here that gets really confusing. because we're aware that even if you are a trans person, that it's still going to be difficult to match just like a male athlete.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny on the Joe Rogan podcast once. I've heard him, and I haven't since he's gone to Spotify.
Gone.
Cool. Does Joe Rogan exist? I don't know. I don't think he does.
I have no idea.
He's a myth,
I don't know.
as far as I'm concerned.
People have been turning on him.
Yeah, I have no doubt about that. But he talks about how he doesn't feel that it's okay for someone who's biologically born as or someone who's born and identified as a guy to transition
to a woman,
to a girl, and then go fight.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, we can all agree, we can call you as you wish, we can talk about your pronouns, but we got some genetic differences here, regardless of the hormones that get taken and long to change. Like, you got to fight previously also, and you got to grow up, and you got different testosterone, and you got to lift differently, and your bone structure is different because when you lift, your bones get, and then you went and got in the fight, and none of these girls had that, and so that's also something to be looked at. It would be interesting, like if I know I like a thought experiment. If any one of us transitioned, could we go play in the NWSL?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, I'm not gonna say I don't
no
think so.
idea.
I don't think there's no one in the league that has.
Has no one done that? And would they be okay with that? Especially, say, someone who's played in the top league. If I transition and I played in the MLS and now I want to play in the NWSL, is there an issue there?
I don't know, but if you did that, I'm putting all my money on whatever team you're playing on. I'm taking my whole bank account and I'm putting on every game that you're going to score a hat trick.
Put him up top.
No offense, and that's not even like I'm not even trying, but it's like going back to what we were saying. Like I just there would be a huge disadvantage there. There has to be, right? Like what's going to really what would happen to your body, Will? Thought experiment. If you did, and like, would you really lose a lot? Would you lose a lot?
I don't know. Well, my brain got to play, all this time as a guy, and maybe I have different movements, but maybe I can still move in the same way. I don't know. It's a complete change to your body. Like, imagine. Oh, what about a goalie position? Like, that's a big thing.
A woman goalkeeper, Tyler.
You would just national team like right away.
National team right away. What if this is all right? Let's keep going on this thought experiment because we should close this out so we can move on. But
yeah.
What if there's a country that decides to start transitioning
all of their
players, in order to then, if the rules say someone who previously identified as a male can transition into a female and then is viable for the female league?
If the money shifts that way, then I guarantee you someone will do it.
11 guys.
If there's money that is to be made in the sport, someone will start doing that.
So that's kind of it's kind of a like conundrum, because like the people that I feel like would do that, who'd be like, oh, we can make money by doing this, also would be the same type of people that aren't really for trans people in the first place, to where you see what I'm saying? Like I don't think those two match up too much.
Yeah.
No. But they would do that, and politicians do stuff like that all the time. They'll say all this stuff, and then they'll figure out, oh, I can make some money. Right. Let me go ahead and put this money in this account and make sure this person handles that. And, there's ways to do all this stuff, even if it's, all they care about is money. That's all they care about. So that would be nuts, though, if that started happening. That seems like something like Russia.
That's exactly.
But that's also Russia would not be about it, right? Russia is so far.
I mean, it would take a monster change because culturally, and obviously the president who quote is it as saying a few years ago that there's not gay people in Russia. That was a quote.
Jesus.
That's what I was trying to do. So they're still trying to sort out the homosexuals and how to process that. They're like 20 years behind.
This is just
so in Russia, it's just like, no, shut up. Like there's none of that. And then like, so here we're like, okay, like we're trying to like it's like we're trying to accept it, but like there's obviously these non-binary people living in Russia, but
Yeah,
they just like no, like you are a woman or you are a male. Like that's shut up.
Oh, they're
that's
not
not
even
even.
there yet.
Yeah,
There's
But are they there though, or are they not?
they're
Is that
there.
yeah, they're
possible?
there.
It's a
Yeah, they're
question.
there. There's a
Okay,
huge. There has to be like a huge underground thing going on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure
okay,
that
It's all
there's like huge
underground,
underground communities with all of them, and everyone just kind of
massive.
like hushes to
okay.
that.
So non-binary is not just like a philosophy. It is actually like a
No, no, no.
science.
Oh, wait. You mean a science? What though? Where are you going to go with that?
Is it like science-based thought, or is it like more like philosophical like theory kind of thing that you're supposed
I think it's how your brain's wired. I'm sure if you go back in time, like it might not be described the same, but I'm extremely confident if you go back in time, you could probably pick out like situations where somebody like not I can say pretended, but back then I guess that's what they would call it. Though this guy pretended to be a woman or this girl pretended to be a guy the whole time, and
but that was just
I
their
think it's
genetic
yeah,
founded in
because
nature.
makeup
I
and
think he's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
I think all that stuff, all of this, like I mean, it's not like evolution wise, our brains have all been completely rewired from this sense in the last 20 years. So I'm assuming this has been going
yeah.
on.
It's there.
I
Yeah.
mean, Will, like most of the people like literally just still don't, especially in Kansas, they don't even accept the idea that this is like just the way you're born though. Like or like that it's your genetic makeup or your like
Right.
mindset, that kind of thing. Like what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it, I would imagine I have no issue believing that people are born like they feel they ever since they were little they don't remember anything other different, like they feel
Yeah.
like they're in the wrong body, like I
Yeah.
can totally imagine that is, I'm
Yeah.
different. Everybody keeps telling me I'm this, but I don't feel like that, and
Yeah.
I may
Yeah.
look like this, but I don't feel like that inside. I think that is 100% happening. There may be some. I
Yeah.
mean, humans are insane, and people. It's hard to understand, and some people might later
Yeah.
on think, "Oh, maybe I am this," and that's where people are feeling like it's a choice. Because I don't know.
I also think back in time, people are probably a lot more preoccupied with other things, like working in a factory for 12 hours a day so they don't starve, or going working in the fields where they didn't have that much time, where they'd be like, yeah, like I feel like I'm not the right gender, but also I need to focus all my effort on surviving and not dying instead
Yeah.
of we have so much
Yeah,
downtime
That's very
now
true.
to go
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
just sort everything out and think a
yeah,
lot more.
That is very true. That is so
yeah,
true, dude.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah,
Quinn,
I think that's so interesting. Yeah, Quinn. Quinn, we
Quinn,
need to get you on the pod. We're trying to learn.
Quinn, you're coming. You're coming on the podcast. Invitation will be sent tomorrow. A Colombian will send you a message straight into your DMs. He's a really nice guy. And then we can further this talk. I think we should probably call it here. This is most informative. What did we learn? I mean, I actually kind of feel like I've learned a little bit, but I don't know exactly. Quinn is still a conundrum as far
I
as.
think we learned that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
I mean, I knew that before, though. I already came into this with.
We didn't learn. We didn't learn. We reinforced.
Yeah.
We opened up the discussion that I think a lot of people are avoiding, and like especially men in the United States between the ages of 20 and to death, like 20 to 70 or whatever. It's like this is something that you just kind of try to stay out of, but that's not helping anything. That's not going to get anywhere, like help solve some of this, because I don't think that this article that got taken down, which we didn't even talk about, why is it taken down? Where did it go? Why the fuck is it gone? Why is it gone? Did
I
the
don't know, dude.
MLS or the NWSL or like did the Illuminati like find it and be like, nope, fuck that, we're killing this, squash.
I don't
But it's like,
know.
even though the person that wrote that was way over the fucking top, and it's
Right.
not helping anything
No,
with
no, no.
anybody, and it's only written to trigger people and to
Exactly.
cause engagement rates to go up, has nothing to do with the person being a social justice warrior. The person's just creating content to cause a frenzy,
Yes.
and that is not getting Quinn's cause
No.
anywhere.
It's alienating her. Alienating
you-
Quinn. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, him.
B, you say that, but that article could lead to us talking to Quinn about it.
True.
For sure. It's true. It's very true.
So yeah, it triggers
But
people. Like it's not written the best way, but if it does get people talking about it, I don't know.
But that's
kind of
us,
like
It's us. It's us. And I would love to know how many of those conversations that come from that article are as productive as what we are going to do with it, though. And my guess is that
0.5%.
there's not a
0.5.
single other Yeah,
0.5%.
everything else is someone going, "Fuck you,
Yeah,
fuck
exactly.
you,
Exactly.
you're disgusting."
Exactly.
And,
We're
you know,
curious.
that's it.
We're curious. We're curious
Yeah.
about the shit. That's why we have people that know more shit on the podcast so we can talk about it because we don't get it. That's literally 0.5% of those other conversations were constructive. Quinn,
Yeah.
we'll see you. We'll see you soon.
See ya, B team.